think I need to change this. Wait a second, guys. Hold on a second. Right. Here we go. All right. I think that should be better. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 1. 1, 1, 2, 2. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Right. Okay, that should be good. Should be good. It's not covering the camera, so that's fine. Perfect. Okay, let's get close to. All right. Let's see. FNGU still on the works. Okay, if I say chat overlays. Anyways. Let's share this. Okay. Live now. Here we go. Alright, StreamBot just woke up, so let's do that again. Great. So that's working fine. The audio seems to be working fine. Alright. Okay, let's create, well, let's work on the watch list as we do. Back to our routine. So I've done the watch list almost about 80% now. Just looking for some gappers. Let's see, CLSK, we did have that. Paradise on CLSK. Okay. All right. Here we go, gappers. Let's have a look at our previous day's watch list, which was CXAI. CXAI basically tried to close red to green. Try to turn into red to green, but initially, immediately failed off of that. So that's pretty much the sign that, it's failing off already. The second day of the big move, it was a big massive fail. So that was also the first sign that this stock is gonna have more momentum to the downside. We might be seeing more coming to this now. Today it's already gapping down, so I am short biased on CXAI. I'll keep it. The only issue is that volume is just not there. For a $10 stock, is the volume is about 4.3 million, which is nothing really. Nothing. So it's kind of difficult. The volume is just on the, it's not even on the threshold. If it was 10 million over, I would consider it, but I'll keep in the back of my mind on this one because I want to make sure that if it does drift down, I don't care. That's right. But if it starts to hold anywhere around 10s, and if it starts to, the more days it holds, the better it is. So if that's the case, we could be looking at something really strong, right? Because this move was extremely strong. And if you forget about what happened there, we still are up quite a bit on this thing, really big. From this kind of move, big retracement or pullback is definitely due anyways. We expect that. But the question is how much of a pullback is going to do and how long it's going to hold if it's something fundamentally strong. If it doesn't hold, that's why I said I don't really care, because it can go to its basically the area where it started to move from. But I think if it starts to hold, it'll be interesting. And then the volume will pick up if it starts to rip again. So CXI, I would say, might be in play in the next few days or so, but it might not be today. It could be today as well, because if it starts to take out yesterday's highs, 1280s, 13s, which is quite a ways to go right there, 13s in fact, we are looking good on this one. So I'm gonna put an alert actually. And CXAI, I might put an alert on the 14 as well, because just in case if I remove it from the watch list, if it starts to rip tomorrow or next day. CXAI is gone. ROIV. ROIV is still in play. And this thing is, yesterday I was mentioning this. This is due for a second day continuation. And it really did a second day continuation. So yeah, ROIV really decent. This is also one of the really nice looking chart for a possible swing, but I missed it completely. So there you go. But it's already late in my opinion, although 8 or 9 break could be another opportunity on this one. So I'll keep it. WINT is kind of very, very difficult to trade. Lately it's been very, very choppy. I mean, there was a really nice opportunity there. It didn't move until 11:30. This was just chop fest. But the good thing about this move was that it hung around the VWAP, although it's failed off of a VWAP, but not by far, right? VWAP at that time was 750. The lowest it went was 670. It's not even $1. That's 70 cents, 80 cents. It didn't extend too much from the VWAP. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's created a nice little pattern that we look for almost every day for these kind of strong stocks that ran. And once it starts to reclaim the VWAP and starts to build up that volume, that's your thingy, that's your clue basically. And you could take it anywhere on the break of these levels, which was 770s, 760s, which would be in this candle here. So it'll be that candle here. Looking at the volume, you could also consider taking a high of daybreak as well. High of daybreak was a much better sort of confirmed entry because it already had created that volume that you wanted, the spike in the volume and the consistency. And it came and broke it beautifully and then came back down to the tick and bounced off of it. So this is a really good example of why you really don't want to be taking the breakout at first. You want to also wait for that breakout to happen and let it happen. And once it confirms on the bounce, that's when you start to take that trade. And over here itself was a beautiful, beautiful flag pattern, pennant pattern, whatever you want to call it, continuation pattern that could have actually gotten you in much better entry. Out of all the entries on this one long, I know I'm looking at the hindsight, but I'm giving you the entry points, which was the best. I would say this was the best, whether it worked out or not. Yes, you could say that it was stretched out, but you have to remember this thing actually went from 4s or sub 5s to all the way to 18. So, I mean, for it to move from 7 to 10s, it's nothing, really. So it's got that potential to move, which it did. So that was a beautiful flag continuation pattern. That was your entry. Look at the volume, rising volume, big consistent volume coming in. This is where you say to yourself, you know what, this is too clear. Everything's lining up. It's just right. So that would have been the better entry. This would have been too early. That would have been kind of like, okay, this would have been okay as well because it broke out the main area, which is high of day. And the 9 as well, it broke out of 9 and then came back down and starts testing those. 2 bars, tests the 9 and then continues. So entry with this one and that one would have been really, really good trades on this one. But unfortunately, after 11, right about here, I start to stop trading because I trade only the pre-market and the open for an hour or so. But unfortunately, we're going to be missing that always. And then it creates some really decent trade to the upside from 10s or 9s all the way to 12s almost. Very, very good move. But it failed off. So what do we do? Well, it's actually gaining more traction or attention right now. As you can see, it is kind of gapping up, but I think it's going to fail off because the force to the downside is very strong. Just give me a second, guys. All right, so what are we looking at? What? Okay, so going back to this WINT, I think I am short biased on it. If it's trading under sevens, there's a chance that you could get some potential short opportunities on this one. And the move, there's plenty of room. On this one, you don't have to worry about the range at all, because if it starts to drift down under sevens, 650s, we've got huge room, like even like fives. Possibly 4 is the way to go. But are you able to trade it short? It depends. Depends on your broker. Let's go. All right. WINT, I'll keep it. BBAI, yesterday we were watching this for possible continuation, but it really didn't continue much. So it actually showed a lot of weakness in the beginning. I did trade, not this one, but the AI, but it was just a bit too early on the short side. So we did trade AI here, got stopped out, and yeah, this actually went a little bit later on. So it actually chopped around in the beginning and then drifted down. Not much of a sort of weakness. This is basically a now today's gapping down though. That's not good. But let's see where it stands. Where with the gap? 22. Not much to be honest. It is within this range area here. So if we do look for that possible long opportunities or swing ideas, it could be just over 24s. 2350s on the break. In fact, break of this high of yesterday, if it does break today or tomorrow, could be an opportunity for possible swings on this one. Remember, we are watching AI, BBAI for possible swing ideas. So we've got AI, BBAI. BBAI has already moved from where I was looking for the possible swings, but there could be more opportunities on this one. I like AI though. I mean, SOUN is definitely better. As I was saying yesterday, it's definitely looking better. If it does break 330s, which is yesterday's high. It's last week's high. So 330 break. I'm going to put an alert on this one because I like this. So SOUN. SOUN is a long opportunity just over 330 break for possible swing ideas. Now it depends. Today, if it starts to go towards that today, remember it's going to have done a lot of its ATR. It would have done for that day pretty much finished, right? The move. What I'm trying to say is if it's coming from 290s all the way to 330s, that's stock has done its ATR. Now, what's the average range it does? 290s all the way to, let's say, 330. So about 40 cents. 40 cents average ATR this stock has, okay? Now, if we already have that stock doing its ATR, there's no point in swinging that day, right? We will wait for the next day to swing it. Just keep that in mind if you're going to do ever swing things. But something to keep an eye on. I mean, I'll keep it on the side. I wouldn't put it on the main. I'll just keep one of these on the watch list, guys, so that if it starts to really move, we can always keep an eye on the others as well. CLSK as well, I kept it in the watch yesterday. Look at the move it did. Huge. Really nice. I mean, it did stretch out quite a bit though now. I mean, it's overextended and it's gapping down now. So there could be a potential shorting opportunity on this one. I'll keep it. The volume is good enough. Yes. Everything seems to be fine. The range is there For a $5 stock, 50 cents, is it? 460 to 511. About 50 cents, 60 cents range, which is fine for a $5 stock. That's 10%. HIMS, H-I-M-S, H-I-M-S. Today I put this one on the watch list. I'll come back to that one. I'm looking for yesterday's movers or yesterday's watch list. That's pretty much it. Okay. All right, so for the main watch, let's have a look at our gappers yesterday. PRST. Again, this is done. This is done, guys. I'm going to remove this. PRST did give us some really decent move the first day. PTPI. Surprisingly, this is holding up. So this is the one maybe to watch if you were going to look for continuation, because it did a huge move and then pulled back and it held. But I'm not too keen on this to continue really like strongly. I think it's going to get a lot of pressure from these 7s and 8s if it does move towards that, which I don't think it's going to move, but we'll still keep this. PTPI is definitely worth keeping on the watch list. DRMA, this is the one that we got kind of chopped around on this yesterday. Yeah, it wasn't that bad, but yeah, it was just like a small profit, the first one, and the second one was a loser. Yeah, just failed off. That's why you need to respect your stop. Whatever the stop condition that you have, you need to respect it. As you can see, I exited here. Entry was there, here, and then if I had kept this waiting for the VWAP bounce, it bounced a little bit on the 1 minute, but probably wouldn't have gotten a chance to exit here because it would have been too late. I would have waited for a bigger bounce, and which would never have come. So these are the ones you have to be very careful that could blow the account up. Yeah, so the RMA. Am I going to trade it today? No, it's done. YS also was one of those that had okay catalyst, something to do with the earnings gap. I thought the first day earnings gap, and it's going to have some room to go. It does have some room to go. It was already very well beaten down stock. It was trading at basically $1.50. So this had a lot of potential. I took this trade, I think 226, and then I got out very quickly on this one as well, as you can see. So you might have seen a very like a similar trend to my exits on these specific small price stocks. As you can see on this first red, I'm out way before, and I don't wait for this to complete. And normally my trades are not like this, especially short sides. I will always wait for this to for the candle to form and everything. No, these are specifically momentum stocks, and kind of like scalp exit. You have to always look at it from scalp exit point of view. It's got 80% tape reading exit. You could call it tape reading exit. As soon as you start to see heaviness on the tape, basically, you see a level and it starts to reject from it very quickly, which this one and the PTPI did. You just gotta bail out, because the initial sort of idea was that this is gonna rip, and it didn't, and it's actually doing the opposite. You've got to get out. So that's why you will see these kind of trends on these exits. PTPI, similar trend. Not PTPI, the other one. Which one was it, guys? It wasn't PRST, was it? No, it wasn't. DRMA, yes, DRMA. This is the good thing about streaming. It actually helps me with my memory. So DRMA, same thing. This was the first trade was a success, because it basically did exactly what we wanted. It's started to rip the recent high. Break the recent high, and continues to break the pre-market high, I believe. Yeah, so it breaks the pre-market high as well, and yeah, partial was taken and then exited, I think, on the break even and stuff like that. And then the next 10, it actually bounced very quickly, which is a good sign for momentum stocks. And the idea was basically it's going to start to take out the high of basically 395s and then 4s, which we were going to add. This was only starter and it didn't, so exited very quickly. As you can see, very, very similar exit to YS. You can clearly see that, right? Good. With that covered, let's just get rid of this and look for today's gappers. What do we have on today's gappers? On today's gappers, we are gapping on Lunar Initiative Machines. Is this EV related or Lunar? NASA contract. This is not too bad actually. If it's a NASA contract, then we are looking at a strong catalyst stock. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Lunar looks interesting for a gap and go setup, guys, today. And we do have this thing moving previously. This is massive, right? I mean, is this not a reverse split of some sort? That's massive. When did it do that? Interesting. Anyway, so this thing has potential. It's a previous runner as well. So if it had gotten a contract from NASA, then yeah, 719 million NASA contract. So what is the, let's have a look at the market cap on this one. 153 million market cap. That is massive though. I mean, for a company, it's massive. It's not a big company, so 14 million stocks, shares outstanding, so yeah, I like this one, apart from the fact that it's actually drifted down a little bit, but I think this one definitely has potential if the news is true. If what it says here is Intuitive Machine shares are trending higher after the company announced it was awarded a 719 million NASA contract. That is big, and it's today, the news. So yeah, we'll keep that. This will probably be the main watch for the day for the gappers. The rest, what is linked to Lunar, could be an important one as well if it starts to rip. If you can find stocks that are related to Lunar, which is, I keep on calling it Lunar. It's not Lunar, guys, L-U-N-R. It looks like Lunar, but it's Intuitive Machines. If you can find stocks related to Intuitive Machines, once it starts to run, those sympathy plays could be really, really good, because this kind of sort of almost $1 billion contract is massive. It's very big. I mean, this gap is nothing for those kind of catalysts. I'm surprised it's not actually holding up and ripping. There could be something else that I'm missing on this one. Usually it should be ripping, which it did, and then kind of like which might be good for us, is giving us time to actually catch something on this one as well, which might be good. All right, so WAL. So this is earnings-based gap. Earnings 1.9 estimated, and this is a good one. I like this. Let's have a look at 32 price target. So what? Shades Western Alliance operation at hold rating with 32 price target. Whoa, 32 price target. It's already trading at 40. Yeah, that makes sense. 77 from right. Okay, maintains buy rating. Okay. Yeah, we watched this one for possible gap and go, but the gap is quite a bit though. 32 all the way to close to 40s. Gap is big on this one, but the earnings is quite positive, quite strong on this one. So. Good. Western Alliance Bank. Unfortunately, I don't trade banks. So, no thanks. Thank goodness I realized this is... Alright, so if you do want to trade this one, this looks interesting, but yeah, banks, shitty things to trade. I wouldn't trade these. Forget about it. Doesn't matter how good it looks. No way. Vine. Vine is kind of done. It's gapped up from 313s all the way to the highs of 481s and actually pulling down on at the price of 350. So not really. I mean, come on. If something is strong, this is not gonna do this much of a pullback. Although having a look at this daily looks rather interesting, really interesting, because it's a beaten down stock and it's now creating some sort of a reversal kind of pattern right here. If you pay attention to this one, it's a curling back up pattern. Beautiful daily, I would say. So this could, I mean, if it had held above 4, it would have looked really, I would be all over this. But the fact that it actually drifted down to all the way to 340s, nah, I'm gonna just remove that. Vine is no good for us. INDP. What is this? Biotech. Okay, it's done. WINT, we are also we already looking at possible shorting opportunities on this one. So biotech again. MCB. This is also a bank. This is gapping up. A lot of banks have reported earnings today, I guess. So no, not for me. NIR done. LEGN. Biotech, this is biotech, and it's gapping up from 52s all the way to 59s. Not much volume though. Okay, I'm not too crazy about the other gappers, guys. The only one that I have is the only one I need. Lunar. I'll keep an eye on this one, guys. Lunar is quite important stock to watch today. Alright. That's the only gapper I'm gonna keep an eye on. Let's have a look at the gap downs. There's not much. CDW. Yeah. No volume there. OBLG. Okay, this is interesting. This is also a good one too. Well, it's already done. It's trading at 250. I'll take that back. XPV, yeah, I mean, I don't like to trade these. You know, yesterday it was looking good. XPV is looking really decent. As you can see, that's why you don't want to be trading these. For example, these Chinese stocks. Neo, for example, was similar idea. It was looking really good for possible long opportunities, and all of a sudden it just fails off. It could be due to the fact that obviously the market also ended up red, but that was not a surprise. We were expecting kind of market to be ending up red. We are gapping up on SPY quite a bit from 14s, 414s all the way to 412s. $2. It's not that much. So we might see some sort of attempt to gap fill initially. We'll see what happens. But I think we might see some strength coming into the market later on after the open. All right. Let me just share this in the Discord group. Discord. Where are you, Discord? All right, so that's our Discord, and right about watch list area, we're gonna be sharing this as we do every single day. So what are we looking at? Well, today, obviously, SPY is always there on the watch list. ROIV, WINT, CLSK, HIMS, TDOC, NUAI, and PTPI. And for the gappers, the only one and the only good looking one is LUNR, Intuitive Machines. They've got a really good catalyst for that gap reason. So that's the watch list, guys. And if you're going to trade any of those, best of luck. You might be trading with me. I'll keep an eye on those and see if we can spot some decent opportunities. Right, ROIV. So let me just go through the swing ideas that I took and I mentioned. So DKNG, I believe I took it this day or that day. I'm not too sure. It was 19. 19 was my average, so I believe it might have been a day that it actually drifted down. This might be the day that I took it. Yeah, I think this was the day. Around 19 was my average. Could have been this day, late day. Yeah, I think this was the day. I did mention it quite a few days ago as well. This is turning out to be looking really, really good for possible swings. If you had missed it that day, which was difficult to trade, to be honest, the next day even, when it was trading around here, I was mentioning this could give us more opportunities today, which was beautiful because it actually ripped and then came back down to 19s again, 1920s, and held nicely. So if you were managing to get in on this one, on that close to 19s, 1920s, beautiful. It held nicely, closed strong, and then the main move happened yesterday, which was amazing. This actually is the start of the main move. So we had a range of 1970 all the way to 2021s. Really good range for this stock, basically. It doesn't move that much. Yeah, that's the only issue with this one. But when it does, it's a more stable move. So that was one of the successful swings. IoT as well, I mentioned. IoT this day, I believe, 3 days ago, right? These mentions were 3 days ago. So it was possibly this day, I think. Yeah, I think it's this day. Again, on this one, 1950s, somewhere there, I think was my average. And this is also looking 2 days of run on this one is looking really, really good. So that's the update with the swings. The ones we're still waiting for is FNGU, AMD, ONON. ONON is looking really, really good though. I mean, today, on the break of, let's say, 32s. On the break of 32s, this could potentially turn out to be the entry today. So ONON, just keep an eye on this one. I'm going to put it on my day trading side now, the watch list, because I need to keep a close eye on this one because this could actually trigger today. ONON. The issue with this one is the average volume that we are getting is not that great. It's not that great, so we can't do that. I need to, okay. Okay, never mind. Yeah, still, I'm going to keep an eye on it. And the other one, ENVX. ENVX is still not triggered, as I mentioned, 1430, I think 15 or 1450. Around break of yesterday's high would be nice, but the break of previous week's high, which is 1460s, would be even better. So waiting on this one. NU seems interesting because at the break of 4-5, this could also turn into a good swing. The daily is not that great though, guys. Daily isn't that great. However, yeah, daily isn't that great, guys. I don't think it's gonna break that 5. If it does, it could look good, but it's not the best of the watch. I'm gonna remove this. I don't like it, guys. Sorry. So the watch list for the swings haven't been updated. It's the same ones, I think. Let's have a look at the Discord. So basically, swing ideas. So swing ideas. The watch list is IoT, DKNG, ENVX, AMD, ON, ENVX. So and FNGU. Yeah, nothing has changed. Nothing has apart from IoT and DKNG is already triggered, so that you can remove it if you haven't entered. It's too late now. That's the idea with the swings. Today, I'm just gonna, before the market opens, which is 6 minutes, I'm gonna quickly look at see if I can spot something else for swing side. Because every day I will keep an eye on these. Choose done. One of the big ones I missed was this VKTX. Really, really good swing. Beautiful swing. Just the move that I started looking into swing on this one was after it moved from 4s all the way to like 7s or 8s, and I just couldn't catch it. Yeah, that's one of the ones that I missed. ON looks good today. IoT already in it to win it. FSLY is not too bad. FSLY is not too bad, guys. I'm not gonna lie. This is not too bad. Let's have a look at the volume. Daily looks interesting. 17 break maybe we are looking at. So yeah, I think we might see that. We have 1714, so I'm gonna keep this FSLY. I'm gonna keep an eye on this. What's the volume though? This is the thing. $16 stock though for sub $5 million. Sub 5 million volume, not $1 million. No, sub 5 million. 5 million volume. I can't even speak. FSLY looks interesting. Net not yet. Net not yet. Okay. The last thing I want is tongue twisters. So. This one is just, yeah, this is the one I missed, guys. I mean, this was a perfect play. And it still looks good. I'm keeping an eye on this one as well, EXAS, but it's kind of far from the main trigger point, which is about close to 69 and 70. And silver is not here to make fun of that number. Not this one. STNB. I don't see anything else apart from FSLY could be added to the list. Could take a few days. Phase 3 positive results. This is still oh, wow, this is still going? Wow. Interesting. Okay. Nothing else, guys, on the swing, which doesn't change anything. The swing result or the swing watch list is exactly the same. Nothing changes. Apart from you can keep an eye on FSLY. FSLY because it's kind of interesting. The volume is really bad though. on the break of 17, FSLY could be interesting for possible swings. Swing idea. Yesterday, the volume picked. The problem is, even yesterday, which was a nice little green day, did the volume pick up? Not really. It's just average volume. Although, having a look at this, anytime it actually does a green candle, it actually picks up. So there's something apart from this day. So as you can see, the pullbacks are low volume, especially this area. If you can see this 1, 2, 3, 4 days of red pullback, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 days of declining volume, and then when you get that green, it's a rising volume. So interesting volume wise, but the amount of volume it trades average, it's not looking good. So if you want to trade it FSLY, just maybe try some, but not the best ones. The better ones were DKNG, definitely, and it's already formed. IoT, definitely. AMD also is a better one, but it's not produced it yet. We are looking for the break of this trend line, 93. 93 breaks on AMD. We will be looking for that possible longs. Now, I think we might see that break over the weekend, a gap, or then after a gap, which is fine. If it does break that day, we'll look into swings on it. ON is today. We could trigger this again. Volume on this one is about again, but the good thing about this one is a $32 stock, which is fine. I would still have liked it at 10 million or over. This one also looks good when it comes to volume, volume analysis on the daily, because we are seeing rising volume on the bars that went up and declining volume on the pullbacks. Okay. All right, market is open, guys. Best of luck. Let's do this. Now I'm gonna put this back to 1 minute, guys, because I like to see it 1 minute. 1 minute chart instead of 5. 5 minute chart on SPY will always be here if you can spot it here. Just in case people start complaining. 5 minutes is greater, better. Well, there you go. ON. ON actually just went down and reclaimed. So what is the spread on this one? Looks like quite a bit. 10 cents, 7 cents. So this one looking not too bad. Still early. I wish it was taking a bit of a while for it to actually reclaim the 32s, but it wants to reclaim it. So I'm looking for this one. ON, guys. ON. ON could turn out to be a good entry for the day. We'll see if it starts to break 3190s and 32s. 32 break would be interesting on this one if it stays holding that area. Yes, sir. It's very crowded though. It's very, very crowded. Not really. The volume isn't that much. Why does it look crowded? Spread is high. Spread is tightening as well, so it's not too bad. I'm gonna try it here, guys, on this one. Looking for long. 3190, 3180, 3190, 3192s. 31 is, yeah, it's just a starter. It's just a, it's too early. It's too early. I mean, ideally you want to wait for that 32 break, but I normally take earlies if I can get the midpoint. Okay, that's good that we waited on this one. It's good that we waited, and this is gonna be like that because of the big spread and the range isn't much at this point. It's gonna look very, very choppy. So that's why it might be a better idea to wait on it. But I'm gonna start if it starts to give me some sort of a that 3190 is struggling, so. Okay, getting. All right, 95s, guys, 95s. I got 31 95s. And the stop on this one is quite a bit. You can put it under 3170s, but a minus 3150 under 3195s. Oh, there we go. There we go. So 32 breaks, and we could bring in more volume once this starts to break, because a lot of people will be watching yesterday's high, which is 32, and a big round number. If it does chop around, I'm not going to be scared on this one because it's a starter position with the possible swing idea on this one. And if it starts to rip, I might have the chance to add to it as well. But if it starts to come down and takes 3170s and starts trading under, then I'm going to remove that from the I'm going to end the trade, and then later it might provide another opportunity. Okay, what else is moving? SPY is bouncing towards that gap fill, but it's failing now. So yesterday's low is actually holding SPY down. So interesting. That means AMD has a very, very good relative strength. AMD is one of the stronger ones today. Tesla is also stronger one. So seems like a SPY wants to gap fill and might maybe continue stronger, because a lot of big names are continuing to make new highs for the day. The bounce came in from this 50 EMA on AMD, and also a very strong level at around this level, 88s. Really nice, big, strong bounce. Very, very strong. And this could be the start of that day we were looking for that bounce, but it's too early for me to call the bounce entry. I'm going to wait for a few days until it starts to break 92, 93s for possible swings. T-Doc. Wow. ON, guys. It's not looking too bad now, right? There we go. And you might sometimes say that, why do you enter a bit early? You know, if it hasn't broken the price level that you were watching, which was 32, why do you enter at 31.95? Well, this is why. Because once it breaks that, the main area of interest, point of interest, which was here, it doesn't give you the chance unless you basically chase it, which your entry is going to be right there somewhere if you chase it with market order, which I don't like to do. It's chopping around, as I said. You know, this is going to chop around. It's going to look big, but the candles look big, but it really isn't. It's because of the spread being a bit higher. So I'm going to leave that alone on the swing side. We'll leave that. Lunar, however, is actually forming some sort of a basically not a bad pattern. I'm not gonna lie, it's not a bad one. I just want it to be trading over 13s. I just want this thing to be trading over 13s. Anytime it starts to trade over that, I'm gonna start and then start position on this one. T-Dog ran 50-60 cents within like the last 5 minutes, so not bad. It looks kind of heavy, but is it really? I'm talking about LUNR. LUNR. I'm ready to take some at the break of 13 and then add 13.20, definitely, but I'm just waiting for that 13 to actually lighten up a little bit. Just chill up a little bit. It's just too serious. That 13 is too serious. We need it to chill, right? It's too aggressive. With this one also, we do have 5 cents, around 5 cents spread, which is fine. Oh, my ON guys is looking really good now. It's hitting that 32.50. Very nice trade, guys. Look, yeah, 32.50 is almost hit, and the daily is looking beautiful. So hopefully today is the day that it ends up closing above 32, and if it does, then yeah, I'll swing this thing. But if it starts to stretch out its ATR, which ATR on this one is 30.50s to 32.7, so $1.50. It's already done $1.50, so let's see what it did. 31, yeah, it's already done $1, so another 50 cents it moves, which comes to again around 32.80s, 32.90s. Around this area, I'm gonna take some out on this one because that would be its ATR done for the day. Really nice looking trade. Very good. Very stress-free trade, because as soon as we took this thing, it just ripped. So that shows that you are in the right stock and the right time. PTPI is also not looking too bad. It's kind of holding strongly here. At the break of 5. Okay, it's already broken. Oh, sheesh. Just when I say this, it's actually ripped 20 cents. It's too wild. I mean, it's got 20 cents. Wow, it's got 20 cents spread. Has this gap down? Halt. Oh, this is too deadly. I think 502, 520 for a $5 stock. Huge spread. So it's better not to let it catch up. I think this is just bringing huge volume that it's not able to produce liquidity for. So LUNR. LUNR getting ready, guys. It's actually getting ready. If that 1275 holds, it's gonna look good. I'm gonna 1310 break would be nice. 1310 break. I'm gonna take some on this one, guys. I'm gonna start 1310 break for the long. Looks interesting. Here we go. Here we go. 1250. 1250 could be the stop on this one, guys, if we do take 1310 break. ON still keeps chugging along. Let's go, ON. I think I should take some out around 32.80s. Another 20 cents to go. But I'm keeping an eye on... there we go. 32.63. I'm tempted to take some out, guys, here on ON. I'm tempted to take some out. 32.63s, 65, something like that. Whatever I get, 62. 32.62. I took some out, guys. 32.62. It's gone too fast without anything. 32.62 is where I got in. Oh, okay, there you go, as expected. 32.62. So really decent. I know it's kind of premature exit, partial here, but you know, you've got to understand that nothing moves in a straight line. We've got to have a pullback. There you go. Pullback was due. So this entry, we could always bring it back as it pulls back to the VWAP and starts bouncing off of it, or certain levels, we can always add that back. So I'm going to leave that on the side now. I probably won't mention it, bore you up with the swing. I'll probably update you on this for tomorrow. Beautiful. Lunar, ON, we caught you. Lunar basically failed off, so now there's no trade on this one. In fact, there might be shorts on this, shorting opportunities. So that's why you wait. 13 never broke on this one, guys, and even it attempted to break here, but that's why I was saying 13.10 break would be nice to enter. I just didn't. So yeah. What else do we have? We have PTPI that's moving. PTPI, we were looking at it earlier. PTPI just moved now and it's tightened up. So yeah, this one looks interesting, guys. This is one of those that could rip, I was mentioning, because it's holding up nicely. So this is one of those. 536 PTPI. I think we might have missed the opportunity at that area, but the only issue here was it was just too choppy, and the spread was 20 cents. And still is quite a bit of spread. We are looking at about, well, it's not actually that much. It's not that much of a spread. AMD looks not too bad for possible long opportunity, because we are seeing SPY bouncing on bouncing now, and AMD is the strongest one of them all, remember. So AMD looks good for possible longs, guys. 90 breaks, 89.80 breaks. This could actually go. Yeah, what's the volume like? It's rising as well, and the SPY is looking good. So AMD, although I don't like to trade it a lot, but looks rather decent on the break of this congestion here. Keep an eye on that one if you trade the big caps. Hold on a second. On my YouTube, guys, it's okay. All right. I thought it was just there. It goes. AMD 89.80 breaks, and this could turn out to be a decent breakout. And if it does come back under that, then that's done. But it shouldn't if it's strong enough. It should not really. And it's got a perfect daily as well for possible longs. Although yes, it has moved. A lot of move. It's done quite a bit of its ATR, 88.20 all the way to 89.80. So it's done quite a bit of its move though. But we are looking at something that was heavily beaten down recently on the daily. So it has a lot of room to go. PTPI is the one that I missed. I'm not going to lie. I was looking at entry here, but I was seeing the spread about 520 to 5. So 20 cent spread I couldn't deal with, even if you get the midpoint 510. Still, any sort of push to the downside would have taken you out. But these are the ones that has huge spreads are the ones that move, because there's basically imagine you're walking up the stairs and let's say there are, let me explain overcrowded versus not so overcrowded stock, right? You're climbing up, let's say, 100-meter hill or an area where you need to just climb up, right? 100-meter height. Because my trade is not that, it doesn't require a lot of attention right now because I've taken partial, so I'll explain it on the chart. Let me explain it on the with using the Epic pen. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. This is big. So basically, you have one scenario where a stock is overcrowded, right? Overcrowded. So you need to, let's say, climb 100 meters, right? Let's just put yourself, you need to climb 100 meters height, and you've got two ways to climb it, okay? One is a stair that has basically normal stairs, right? The height of the normal stairs. So basically height of the normal stairs, right? Right? You get the idea, right? So height of the normal stairs is like, just, if it does go, you're going to reach there very, 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 like in a slow time, right? So from here, 0 to 100 meters, you reached within this amount of time, whatever it took. Let's say this is 0 minutes to, let's say, I don't know, how long will it take? I mean, my calculations are a bit off, but let's say you reach there in 30 minutes, right? Now, this is overcrowded stock, because what's happening is, even if something is strong and it wants to go up, because every buyer has a seller, every seller has a buyer, right? And they are ready on an increment of a move. So even if it does move, it's going to move very, very slow. Unless that whole every buyer has a seller lifts. Okay, that's when you get these high spreaded stocks. Okay, like this one, PTPI, for example. Now, PTPI, let's say this moved big, right? It will move like this, okay? So the stairs now have gone from, let's say, 1 foot size into a arm's length. So you're moving, right? Does that make sense now? This is your stock so you're going to reach there in what? 10 minutes. So hopefully that makes sense between overcrowded and not so overcrowded stocks. Something like that has huge spread. When it is strong, they do tend to really, really go for it very quickly. It's only the matter of basically managing your trade, especially the position sizing on these ones. So also we like to call these are very thickly traded. This is very thinly traded. You can call it that way. So thinly traded, thick traded stocks will look like that. Gives you the options of the... Anywho. ON is back to my original position. Entry, that's fine. I mean, I've taken some on it, but not as much as I would have liked. But it's also, remember, it's also a swing idea. So I'm just going to give it some time. If it starts to break that 3170s, 3170s, then I'll come out of it. Ideally, I would like this to be bouncing now instead of taking the lows out. I wouldn't wait for it to take out the lows, but these ones normally come and attempt the lows anyways initially. But I wouldn't like it to be trading under 32s right now. What it's doing is not good. So I'll wait for that bounce that should come in. And if it does, I'm going to base my stop under that bounce. Already taken some out, but it's at my entry and lower now. So waiting for this to bounce. What a turnaround on this one, huh? Did a really decent move from 32s all the way to about 60, 70 cents. And it's really reclaimed back the whole thing. Anywho, PTPI. As I said, PTPI is something that could squeeze, especially Lunar is completely failing. PTPI looks interesting again. It's actually bringing the volume together. It's tightening, so PTPI is probably a good one to try right now with a 30-cent stop. With a 30-cent stop. The only issue is 570 needs to take it out. Yeah, so this AMD didn't really go for it, so it wasn't as strong as we thought it was going to be. But the issue here is SPY, right? Yeah, it's going under 3770. The ON. It's not bringing up that bounce that I want. Anyways, yeah, SPY really didn't actually go for it. Over here, we were thinking that's going to have a continuation, but it's really choppy. Really choppy. So AMD's trade would have definitely been a failure. And this breakout would have been really not so good. It didn't give you enough to take out partial, so yeah, it would have been a failure. But that ON is just yeah. Since I took some out on ON, I can always hold off until the low of day. But the way it's going is just not bringing any bounce at all. The issue here is the reason why I'm holding is on this one is, I mean, yes, we did have rising volume on this area here, but now we've got a declining volume on these moves. So, and also it's a very, it's like one of those thickly traded stocks. So the bounces and these ones will look very, very big because of the spread. Sometimes it tightens up though, but mostly we're looking at like 10-15 cents spread on this one, average. We could also have a potential shorting opportunity on this one for day trade, because somewhat for swings, it's not going to happen in the first attempt. This will take, sometimes it takes a while for it to actually start ripping on the daily. Today might not be the day, the way it looks like. So now if it doesn't, then what you are expecting is you're actually trending the range on the daily at the highs. We might expect a few days of down moves to create that pattern, even though it looks good for swing. But it might be good for the shorts for the day trades, because we are actually at the high of the range. I don't know whether that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. So as a day trade, if you have another account, you could definitely short this thing. It looks like a short to me. I'm going to exit this long, guys. Yeah, 31.75s, I'm out. So the thing is, here, 31.75s. Although, yes, a little bit I gave up. I could have exited 31.90s, but that's fine. It's like a break even for me. Small loser maybe. It's a shame. It just went under 200 as well. I really was expecting it to be bouncing 31.90. Now, I could have held it under the low of the day, which I might regret later. But I could always re-enter this one if it does provide some decent opportunity. Daily doesn't look good now as it stands. But I have been proven wrong so many times on these. Wow, PTPI. Good that we didn't take it, guys. Look at this. It's just... it's fighting. Was our lunar done? Lunar's just drifted down. For now is done. But just keep an eye on this one because it's got a really decent catalyst and it could actually reclaim that 13 again during midday. And if it does, I think this one has quite a good potential. I still believe that this could, if it reclaims 13, really go for it. In fact, maybe even for swing ideas. This definitely has that potential. But as it stands right now, it looks like a good shorting opportunity. Okay. Yeah, right now it looks like a nice shorting opportunity. In fact, right now. And also ONON also looks like a really decent short right now. Really decent short because we do have quite a ways to go. If it does break the low of day, a few days actually it could go, because it's a failed breakout on the daily. Really, it's a failed breakout, although it did move for a partial for us, but it still is a failed breakout. So that's a really good shorting opportunity right now. SPY is also weakening, as you can see on the 5 minute. It's just these topping tails doesn't look really good at all. Oh, HIMS really went for it. HIMS. HIMS just dropped. I was actually looking for long on this one, possible swing idea actually. It's good that I didn't take it. I was a really a nice entry around 11s, but 11 to this doesn't have range. It looks big, but it really doesn't have range. Yeah, no sir. Tesla and SPY is bouncing. ON, I'll say one thing though. If it starts to hold up here and it starts to reclaim back that 32, I will still attempt for another entry on it for swing idea. I'll still attempt, even if after stream. So I'll keep an eye on. This is the only one that today is active. Our DKNG is okay. IoT is doing well. ENVX is not yet triggered. FSLY hasn't triggered yet. AMD, it doesn't seem like it's going to trigger today. FNGU, I don't think it's going to trigger. I really don't like FNGU. I might remove this from the list, guys. This is probably the updated list. I'm going to... Okay, let me just post the updated list on the Swing Ideas room. So I'll remove this one. I'll remove this one and I'll post the updated. Actually, you know what? I will not delete this because people will start to question. Any reason for people to question? Updated list for swings. Swing idea. There we go. So now I've removed on this one FNGU and added FSLY. FNGU is just, I don't like it. So this is the updated list. DKNG and IoT. DKNG and IoT already is, actually I should have removed that. Remove DKNG and IoT as the entry or the trigger. Actually, I am in DKNG and IoT. What was my DKNG? 19 average, I think. 19 average. And IoT 1950s. From Monday. I think Monday is the one that it started moving, right? So if you are not in those two stocks, remove it from your list. That's the update, guys. Although DKNG IoT is there because I want to keep an eye on them on my swing list. But I've mentioned here, we are already in on TKNG and IoT. The trigger happened a few days ago. And if you're not in those stocks, then you can remove it because it's too late to take them now. Okay. Right, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I'm not looking anything for, to be honest, HIMS looks like a short as well. HIMS, it's a really nice wash down right there, 1082s. I'm going to take this, guys. Can I take it this? Let me see if I can prepare myself for this, unless it actually washes off, and in that case I'll be missing it. I'm gonna be done for the day for the stream, guys, but I'll be taking short. Oh, okay, I think I missed this one. I'll be taking short on this if I can get the chance. Possibly not now, but ON definitely looks like a day trade short for sure. This one here, so I'm gonna look to short that one, guys. I guess I'll see you tomorrow, guys. All right. Take it easy.